Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Today we are working on my planner for the week of July 14th. So we're going to start by looking at the week of July 7th. It was not a super busy week, which is good for me. But yeah, I didn't have much going on. I had a crazy hectic week this week, all over, personal, work, everything. So I wasn't going to the store, I wasn't buying things. I was pretty much just working and sleeping. That's all I had time to do. So there's just not a lot going on. But we're going to go ahead and close out this week. So, as you see, I have bought some groceries this week because, I have to eat. I didn't buy a ton because I just wasn't in the store. And so I have a little bit of grocery money left over. And then I went over on my dining out budget. So if you're new to watching my videos, I use a digital envelope system. So each of these boxes kind of represents an envelope for me. So I did, pretty good, but I did pretty good on my budget because I was just so tired and overwhelmed that I didn't have a choice but to do good. And that's not a good thing. Stress is not your friend. And I was quite stressed. I can't wait to do my after the pen and talk about that a little bit more because I think a lot of people don't always share when they have a lot going on like that. And, they just kind of keep going in the same pattern. Sometimes they don't even share it with themselves, if I'm being honest with you. And that's never a good thing. So I'm going to share it in my after the pen, how stressful this week was for me. Because I actually was really inactive in a lot of my planners. But we're talking about budget on this video, so I'm not going to get into that right now. Just know that it happens to everybody, and there's no shame in it. Just keep going the next day. But yeah, I was so overwhelmed that I couldn't even go on Amazon for real, and it was like Amazon Prime week last week, and I just couldn't do it. Totally too much going on. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just labeling my week, and I just label it in different ways. I start my weeks on Monday, so I don't have a ton to budget for next week because I am going to be getting ready for my trip next week. So grocery, I shouldn't have any transportation expenses. I should not have any entertainment expenses. I will probably have some eating out expenses because I have another hectic week coming out, and I tend to eat out more when the week is so busy. I shouldn't do that, but I do. Personal, I don't have a ton of personal. Most things that I will be buying next week will come out of my travel budget, which I've already accounted for. So I don't anticipate having a lot of personal expenses. Okay. That is the wrong bill. So what I'm doing now is just writing down the bills I expect to pay next week. I kind of always do that each week. Whatever bills I need to focus on. It's not all of my bills, but things that I really want to make sure that I stay on top of, or I need to, monitor when it comes out of my account, things like that. That's what I usually write down here. Like I don't write down, well, sometimes I do write down like Hulu is coming out, but most of the time I don't. Yeah. So I think those are the only two things that I'm really going to be paying attention to. Meal planning, I don't know what, I'm probably not going to meal plan in this video because I don't really know what I even want to eat. That's how busy and crazy this week was. Like, this is Saturday the 12th when I'm filming this, and let me tell you, I can barely get my thoughts together. This week that I'm leaving was so crazy. So I probably don't know exactly what I'm going to eat next week until I get into next week, if I'm being quite honest with you. I do know that I'm on a vacation budget, so we'll see. Whatever it is, it won't be a lot. So no planning supplies. Oh, and let me say something else about my meal planning. So I was tempted to write down like spaghetti. I probably will eat tacos. I don't want to, but I probably will. But I was tempted to write down spaghetti because that's easy, but I'm trying to stay away from the pasta and eat different things. So that's one of the main reasons I need to really probably, you know, think that through, and not just write down any old thing. Okay, so the next thing that I'm going to do is go ahead and use my highlighters. These highlighters align with my category highlights so that at the end of each week, I can easily transfer my totals to my monthly overviews and stuff. So that's what determines these highlight colors. And when I get through with this, I'll show you in my planner where I keep track of that and where I use it. Now let's see. Looking for my highlighter for personal. Here we go. Yeah, so a quick video. I had a really long video last week, guys. So that's another reason why this video is so quick. Okay, so we are set up for the upcoming week. And like I said, the budget is really slim because I am in the process of saving and preparing for my vacation. So a lot of the expenses next week are going to be related to my travel the following week. So I've already accounted for those expenses in my travel budget. You know, those are things like buying my sunscreen, the personal things I'll need to travel, stuff like that. I've already allotted for that money, so I don't have to do it twice. Let me show you what I meant when I said my highlighters match my categories. So in the beginning, in the front of my planner, I have identified what my categories are. I do this at the beginning of the year, and I go in and I just kind of write down what my categories are for my budget, and I highlight those categories. And that's the same highlighter color that I stick with all year, so that when I write down my monthly totals, it's easy for me to add them up and just visually see those monthly totals and put them in the right category. I also, during the week, as you've seen before, I use the same highlighter color in the expense tracker. So it just makes everything super easy. So that's what I was saying about highlighting. Okay, so that is pretty much it. Like I said, short video for this week, just kind of looking forward to the upcoming week and looking forward to my travel. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it and have a happy week planning.